backing up home plate
Jose,
without Karam.
do we
you
see
where
Kenley
was? He's standing by third base.
Do we see Kenley again? Do we see Kenley again in this?
You will see him at some point, but perhaps not again in high leverage situations. So I go back to what I told Steve, and I'll repeat myself again. Gratterall had enough, in my opinion, to get through that ninth inning after 7 pitches in that eighth inning.
I think people will agree. We saw Dave Roberts once again explaining himself for his pitching choices. Jim Gray, come on in. You've been watching this happen. What do you think?
Well, I mean, Chris Taylor, you got to make that play out there. You can't pick up your head and, keep the base runner from advancing so you don't lose the game. That's A. B, Will Smith, catch the ball. That's what you got to do. Catch the ball. You catch the ball, you make the tag, or you have him trapped, and then there's a rundown. Tom Brady says this all the time. I know it's football, but he says you can't learn how to win a game until you learn how not to lose. The Dodgers lost that game. Now, Tampa played well enough to win. They were great all night. There was 8 consecutive half innings setting a record where the score turned, where somebody scored a run. That's beyond belief. But in the end here, this defense just really let the Dodgers down. And that's the difference in the game. And it's a shame after such a great game that's what happened.
Yeah, Steve even brought in his gold glove as we got started because you wanted to make the point, Steve, that this is about defense. Defense wins championships. These are mistakes. So often you heard Joe Buck and John Smoltz say, oh, you can't make any mistakes with the Dodgers. They'll capitalize on it. The Rays capitalized on the biggest mistakes of the game.
Well, Jim and I are old school. We remember when games were won on defense and there were less home runs and guys threw strikes. But more importantly is you have to remember that, and by the way, Jim, when you were talking about I can't believe what I just saw, it would have been fantastic if Jack Buck's son, would have said the same thing. We would have given him a one-off. We would have given him a mulligan on that. It would have been perfect. But again, the reason we love baseball is because there is no clock. Time's not going to run out. And things happen. It's not easy to catch sometimes. It's not easy to hit. It's not easy to throw. That's why this is the most difficult sport ever. And
Steve,
that's why we teach our kids,
what's
just
Chris
like Jim
Taylor's
said,
reaction,
fundamentals.
But all right, fundamentals. What's Chris Taylor doing right now in the clubhouse?
He is saying exactly that he should have, like Jim said, he should have caught the ball, made sure he had it, and because the game is tied, not throw it away, get the ball in, and live to face another batter.
But Jim, go ahead.
I was going to say we could have quoted the great Vin Scully, too. In the year of the improbable, which COVID and this baseball season is, the impossible has happened. That's almost impossible. I think Steve or Jose said a few minutes ago, if you played this game 300 times, 200 times, this would not be the ending. This was an impossible ending. Now they've put themselves in a difficult position. The Dodgers have more talent, but look at what Tampa has done. They've been faced against more talent. The Astros had more talent, and they won. The Yankees had more talent, and they won. So having the most talent doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the most wins. The Dodgers have put themselves in a precarious position, and they did it to themselves.
That's
what happens.
There's another factor here
Kershaw,
is Cody Bellinger not being available to play center field.
Right, but Chris Taylor's a good outfielder. We don't typically
you take a lot
Chris
of pride in moving
Taylor
pieces and versatility and things like that, but when you move it around and you don't start at game one position, trust me, the ball will find you, and things happen so fast, but you got to remember it's quite basic. You start always with the baseball.
All right, the fans are probably still there. We saw them with Gina, just heads down, just not feeling good about this. Let's go back to Alex and Christine right now for more reaction from people who have been watching.
Great discussion. I know how we're all feeling here. Imagine